Final matchup of the night. Odium are looking very strong in this league right now, whereas Antic have slipped all the way down. It's like a game of snake and ladders.
That's actually a really good analogy. That's the best way I could summarize the Oceania League so far for 2024. Up and down, play day to play day, week to week. It's really difficult to predict. There was a part of me that wanted to switch up my prediction to Circular Spheres. Glad I didn't, but in the end, I was almost glad that I was sad that I didn't as well. At one point in that second half where they had a match point, I was thinking it was done for. Man brought it back 8-6, and now, believe it or not, I've actually gone for Antic in this game. Simply, my only reasoning is because they lost yesterday, and they've one loss throughout this entire stage so far. So I'm ready for them to turn it around once again. On paper, that proverbial paper that we keep talking about, these guys look great. For whatever reason, though, guys, inside of the server, it's not clicking to the level we thought they would get to.
Yeah, unfortunately for them yesterday over on Club, it was a bit topsy-turvy. Again, it ended up being quite an attacker-sided affair, I think. No, a little bit more even in that matchup, rather. Only the 2 attacking round wins for Antic, then 3 defensively, and they got overrun with the aggression and the proactive nature of the attacks that Man were bringing inside of the server. They just couldn't raise the bar enough to be able to shut down key players. Again, the likes of Cairo in that particular matchup. So, as you said, as you've outlined quite clearly, they've been rather inconsistent throughout this season, but the players, I mean, I don't know how many times I have to say it, individually, they can be so good. And even the likes of maybe Tuhan and Logic, who had quite slow first weeks here in OCE, they've been able to step it up. I will say that Killerman's probably standing out to me as being the underperformer of the team, not just because his EPS is only at 88, but he was such a star player last year, and we really pitched him as maybe being, you know, one of the new gens here in OCE that could really take things up to the next level. He hasn't yet so far. Maybe he can find that gear tonight.
Look, I think that this team, the best way to summarize them is a team of champions versus a champion team. They've got 2 more playdays to change around the inconsistencies and completely turn the conversation heading into playoffs. Speaking about playoffs, Odium have all but secured it. They've got 6 points left in a possible 2 playdays, and, well, they're 1 point away from locking that in. This is the roster as we see it. We finally get to see Saved's head. He's been missing all this time, but to be fair, this roster has just looked quite indomitable, Jake.
Yeah, I think they've also played as a team. You mentioned there, of course, for their opponents, kind of like a team of champions versus a champion team. Now, I'm not saying that Odium is a champion team, but they're, at this stage, the closest thing to it in terms of Team Bliss. Second at the moment for Odium, and boy, they made them bleed yesterday, didn't they? So right now they've got themselves the prize as being regarded, I think, as the second best team going into the playoffs right now, as of today. And that all can change, though, if you go and lose. And so far we've seen this stage, if you're in second, you're not there for long, and then eventually you get taken down a peg. Tuhan and Saved here for our matchup as the only real golf indifference is the entry statistics. That's really it. 20% to Save, 6% for Tuhan. That's it. The KD, the cost, the EPS, all pretty equal between these two.
And it's worth noting as well, obviously the highest rated players on both teams, but in terms of Antic, it does feel as though Killerman's taken that role of entry. So that's I guess that's where all the percentages gone to. But looking into this one, I do feel as though, look, it's fair. It's a fair game on paper. Again, I don't know how many times we can say on paper in this league. Unfortunately, the king of flip-flops has...
no, the paper's in the bin at this point.
It is. Yeah. There's no more paper, is there? There's no paper left. Once you've ripped all those pages out of that damn book, there is literally no paper left to talk about.
Thunder Mifflin's bankrupt.
Oh, the homies. Oh. Where did that one come from? I don't mind that
talking about paper.
I don't mind that from you, but we are headed to Consulate. Well, this one's going to be interesting. I think that this is the first time that we have played this map this stage, guys.
It is the first time we're going to play this map this time in this stage. I don't know why I'm pointing my fingers. I'm trying to be like Jake Zedek, and it feels very unnatural. I don't like that because he pointed at me to make this point. Yeah, we haven't seen it at all in OCE. We've seen it a little bit globally. It's crept in the likes of Korea, etc., but OCE simply hasn't favoured it, which tends to be the case in the BO1. A couple of maps in the BO, not the BO9, but the 9 map format get left behind. So we'll see if we see some new stuff here on cons. I'm pretty intrigued that we're going to see it in the second final play day, but Yeah, hopefully for Antic's sake, they've been cooking something up, and maybe this is a map that they feel finally ready to show.
Well, after this game, we may well have, yet again, another coronation, but only for the second best team in the region.
Could this be the moment?
I tell you what, Antic ain't the second best team in the region. And I can call that right now.
Yeah, they look pretty bad,
They do.
unfortunately.
If they win this, they probably still won't be the second best team in the region. But they could be a pretty damn good team in the region.
Yes, that is true. They could potentially escape elimination, can they?
Escape elimination. Yeah, I think the chances of escaping elimination as it stands right now are looking pretty solid for Antic.
That or they're really grim because Odium are really good.
That's true. That is very true. The thing about that previous game going to overtime is that everyone playing it loses. And teams like Antic, who are competing for those playoff spots, actually end up winning out of a result like that. So while Antic are currently on the outside looking in 7th place, they're on 6 points, which is just 1 point behind both Circular Spheres and 6 targets, only 2 points behind Panic. So they could even rocket up into the top 4 if they play their cards right in this game. But of course, Odium already locked for playoffs and fighting for top 2. If they win this, then they will regain that 2nd place over Man Esports and be in a real fighting spot to assert themselves as the 2nd team getting a bye alongside Bliss.
All right, and for Antic, they could have their run spoiled, potentially, if they lose this one. And then next week kind of goes really horrible. Because next week, what do they play, hey?
Yeah, they're playing...
Next week, they play Circular Spheres,
yes.
I think.
And... my chair almost just
broke.
That
was very scary.
That was my chair while I was sitting
Every
on it.
time that you're up on this desk, we have an OH&S.
Yeah, I think I am the OH&S issue.
Okay,
but
the common denominator.
For Antic, the scary thing is, yes, next week they play Circular Spheres. You never know if you're going to get your full 3 points against them. Historically, Circular Spheres have proven to be difficult for that Antic roster in their previous iterations. They really need as many points as they can glean against Odium here, because Odium also are playing Kelton's Knights next week, which in theory could be a free 3 points maybe, depending on how they play. So, yeah, end of the day, there's a lot of complicated scenarios. Odium gunning for 2nd. They need a win here. Antic gunning to just make playoffs. They need every point they can get.
Yeah, look, I think this is more important for Antic than it is for Odium. Like, I don't care what you're tweeting about best of ones. Like, get whatever. Like, yeah, you need to not be...
Talk mad smack.
You need to not be eliminated.
Back it up.
You need to not be eliminated, you know? And to not be eliminated, winning this game is part of that, hey?
Yeah.
Especially when it's in the last 2 play days, and your last game is against Circular Spheres, who, like, honestly have been a bit of an enigma. They're either really good or they're very bad, right? So, like, yeah. This is an important game for Antic. In my opinion, much more important than Odium.
Very essential for Antic, who start on the attack as well, which historically has proven to be very difficult on Consulate. However, we just said that on Clubhouse and we saw a very attacker-sided club. Antic, what are they going to be able to achieve here? That's the question that I'm wondering. That's what I am desperate to find out. And I don't know. I think it's going to be a tough game. I think it's going to be a really hard game for Antic.
I think this is going to be a long slog. Okay, yeah. The Consulate as well is a pretty strange map to be seeing, playing in OCE League as well. I don't think we've seen it yet, have we, in the stage?
No, not to my knowledge.
Interesting. I suppose when winning games is necessary, you can't really afford to be going for the repeat maps kind of strategy in your videos and getting right. You've got to be playing something, you know, something strong for you, and probably something a bit different as well. Okay, so here goes Antic on their first attempt at an attack. It's down in the basement for Odium on their first defense. Antic looking to initially get some early map control here on the ground floor. Now it does look like Odium have gone for a light extension over through a couple of the floors here, all the way up to the top floor. And I think Antic have realized that. So here's Tuhan all the way out on the meeting balcony, looking to get an in, potentially find an entry, and push these players back down to the bottom side.
Good drone ahead. Yeah, there's already been some info, and the E1D as well. Locks that roamer in place for a brief moment. It's Quixie. And Quixie has been fragging out this stage, I tell you what. It really backed up. He was on Desire last year, and that's not a team that we had a lot of good things to say about, to be frank. And he's really changed his form now on a much stronger team. He has proven to be one of the strongest fraggers, but he does go down early to kill a man. Good entry. Tuhan was there to back him up as well. Good start there for Antic. Finding the opening kill, taking very little damage and expending very little utility in order to do it.
Yeah, solid pinch there for Antic. The hard part about Consulate is often this roam clear section because there are so many little rooms and tiny nooks and crannies that you've got to go and drone out. We saw plenty of drones go early out in the round there, 2 or 3 onto Quixie. He shot them down, but then eventually died himself. Not just that though, but they've at least been able to get one back. That's President onto Killerman, who found that first pick earlier on in the top floor. So far, looking all right between these two teams. Nothing too special has gone on, in my opinion. The roam clear of Consulate always going to be a bit of a challenge. You're going to have to throw bodies at it, and Tuhan is going to add to the count.
A good vertical game. Killerman went down, but he'd already used all his rams, to my knowledge, and we've still got Tui on for some vert. Now, Juice can come and open up the main garage, and really it's just about patience now. Ooh, okay, good impact trick. So now what's Juice going to do about that? We need some vert to try and contest this impact trick. In theory, Tui should be able to achieve that. Out goes a skeleton key, a flashover as well. Will Prez be able to deny this? He's actually not. It doesn't quite land. So a success now for Antic. Prez is in a very awkward spot. Dirty's going to try and bail him out, but realistically here he should die. Bappin, he's the player that could turn this round around, and he does find a great shot onto Tuhan. Now he is at large on this roam, and the numbers are even. Antic need to decide, do they hunt this roamer with the very little time they have left, or do they convert onto the site? Dirty goes down. That tells us it's time to go for site. But Bappin can always come support. Juice is planting, but President has not been addressed. Bappin's still alive. Diffuser's on the ground, and Odium can easily pick it up. Unless Bappin goes down, the 1 HP Frixel goes hunting. Bappin knows he's not going to make a move. I don't think Frixel's going to have time. Oh, he moved! If he planted in place, he might have had the time. But the clock ends up being the killing blow for Antic. Out of nowhere, Odium steal the first.
Yeah, really solid round there for Odium. President, especially in his position inside of the garage, somehow unaware from the vertical. They managed to, even though they had this ground floor control, I think Bappin really kept them at bay here. They couldn't really play that vertical game for as long as they'd wanted to. And even then, as the round ticked by, GC tries to go for the plant, and somehow President was still able to sit in the corner garage despite the wall being, the floor being opened up above him. It was only later on in the round that Frixel then went and rotated and got that kill, but by then it was too far too late. President had already done his damage on the bomb site, and the round was over.
It was a huge oversight from Antic. I don't think I ever saw a drone enter garage from the breach. Like Juicy, I don't know whether he had drones left. If he was out, someone else really had to do it. But nobody from Antic actually just cleared the basic corners. They assumed everyone had fallen back, and Juicy was all alone trying to solo execute on site with everyone else upstairs. Bit of a blunder in the first round because it looked so good for a lot of that round for Antic, but tiny mistakes can be extremely costly.
I think it's the idea with the vertical play, right? If there's a vertical or a room that can be killed through vertical, you don't really drone that room, right? Because you assume that once that vertical play has gone down, that it's clear. Like someone's checked it from above,
You
visually.
have to be diligent. they never really opened good vert above him. They just opened it further back in garage.
So when Tuhan dies, they don't have that anymore, right? They don't have that intel coming from the vertical anymore, and then they have to supplement it with droning. By then, you're the support player. You've just droned your players in for a roam clear. You probably don't have drones, right? So I think your point still stands. Someone else had to go and do that. But when you're like 20 seconds left in the round, you're not doing that, right? Yeah.
Tiny minute details really cost rounds, right? And Odium know how to get away with things like that. And President he's had a phenomenal stage. We talked a lot about him, about his alumni, the club of former President teammates who have moved on to great things. And even his current teammates are looking to solidify themselves as the second best team in the region. Quite a glow up from last year where they struggled to maintain top 4.
So having won the basement, Odium are going to send us up into the ground floor instead. Not the split bomb site, just the ground floor. And Antic are going to look to do their clear from the top, going down to the bottom. So once again, looking to try and clear out as much as they can, try and make full use of the vertical play on Tuhan, who once again has jumped on the buck. Oh, player inside of the closet, I suppose. Or what do you call that, actually, of meeting?
Oh, I don't know. Little external room. Tuhan does end up getting Quixie. That's nice. Dirty's struggling a little bit here. He's feeling that pressure, so he falls back. Bappin is still at large as well in meeting. Dirty's been droned. I don't know if you saw it. Oh, for a brief moment, Killerman had an angle. Dirty does get away with his life. Tui's found a second kill now. Juicy has to have a big impact on the entry here. He's about to find Dirty. Oh, but Dirty gets away with his life. The timing just works out for the Azami as he falls on back.
So even though Odium have fallen back onto the bomb site, not only have they lost the man advantage without any trades, by the way, on the roam clear, they are now also susceptible to the vertical play that Tuhan is about to play as well. Here's President all the way down in the basement from Yellow, who seems to be pretty aware that there is a play that's keeping it at bay.
And an air jab.
At this point, you kind of have to pick your battles, right? Like, it might be essential for him to at least win one of these ones.
It's a bait. President just baited him. Frixel's not overcommitting here. President is undoubtedly favored in this engagement. He's actually going to move away. He doesn't have the info. Oh, Juicy's going to drone him on out. And the call has come out that it is a shotgun player, and immediately Frixel's there to capitalize on the info. Oh, run away. Thunderbird does detonate. No damage done, but Saved has found the first kill for his squad. 1 HP, though. That's what it's cost him. A hell of a lot of damage. He was waiting for someone to move on in. Oh, he is dead to rights. Good positioning there from Logic. Does get traded on back. Dirty V3. What's he going to be able to achieve here with a keeper barrier to try and let loose, but no angles to contest. Antic recompose quite handily, and even the scoreline with a very solid attack.
Not my favorite setup there on the defense, I would say. I feel like of all the defenses that would have been easier to pick apart for the roam, I feel like Antic did a pretty solid job at doing that. And like, to be honest, it's pretty easy. I don't know about you, Dev, but the full off routes that they tried to go for there looked pretty dangerous, I would say, in that top floor. It didn't really feel like they were super safe in the way that they were playing. And even if they wanted to waste time, they probably couldn't escape from there either all too well. So, I don't know. Not my favorite defense from Odium there, but I think well picked apart by Antic. They've been pretty solid so far on the entries, and that's a great positive for them.
Well, that's 2 rounds in a row where they found the opening kill. They managed to further that into a 5v3. Tuhan was being very good on that entry with Buck. Odium struggling a little bit to hold on to ground. And even President trying to contest the staircase with a shotgun. That's a nice little niche idea, but he was flushed out so easily just with a bit of a bait and a bit of time and a bit of a drone. Now Odium, well, it's up to them on where they take us next. Obviously, basement is still locked. I assume you'd go top floor. Right? Top floor is very popular. For many teams, the most popular bomb site, often trumping that basement. So I'd be surprised if we don't see them go up there. I felt like going press room was a little bit of a curveball, a little bit of a risky one.
I actually don't think I know enough about the console, if I'm honest with you, Dev, to actually be able to tell you what is good and what's bad. But yeah, I mean,
only good if you really know the site.
If you know what's going on.
Strat.
Yeah, I got that part, but I actually don't really know, to be honest, whether the top floor or the ground floor on the EXO and piano is actually better, but
top floor's good.
I have no idea.
I'm a big fan of the top floor.
Why are you a big fan of the top floor? Explain it to me.
It's just similar to old console. It's very hard to enter. But you can kind of establish yourself on the whole top floor. Like, you can burn time in admin for ages. It's really hard to make anything work as an attack from CEO, except for like what we've seen really high-level teams like VP does this a lot, like, you know, Amaru executes,
brute
or
force.
like, brute force, like,
window.
let's have an Amaru in through here, some Capitao stuff here, like repels here. Really cool stuff, but that's really hard to do, like much harder than old console. You used to be able to get away with that a lot more. And I think it's just hard to take ground, especially with no vertical nades, right? You can't nade out positions anymore.
Interesting. I don't know, to be honest. I feel like both those bomb sites are fairly tricky.
Yeah. Well, the one
You're
thing
an
we know, true. Console is hard for an attack in general. The one thing we know for sure is that Antic's strength clearly relies in these like roam clearing. That's what they've been doing well both of these rounds so far. So there's not really much roam clearing that you can achieve on that top floor. It's just a lot of repel combat and a lot of figuring out and execute, finding the picks onto quite fortified positions. I think that Odium should lean into that, and it seems like that's what they have picked.
So I think an important conversation for Antic's probably going to be the drone economy, as the attack half kind of plays on as well. Because if you're forfeiting a lot of droning into the roam clear, which kind of have to on this map of console, there are so many small rooms that you need to clear. It means that by the time that you hit the execute, you're not going to have as much intel. Not only that, you're probably not going to have as much time to get that intel down. So I think it's important here for Antic to make quick work of that early game like they did in the last round and continue that momentum, because otherwise they're going to keep getting stuck in that mid to late round translation.
Yeah. Antic are really good at their entry, but they do get caught in the second half of the round, it seems. And this has been such an up and down team. Like, it's kind of bonkers to think that these guys like 7-0'd Panic, but have been losing games left, right, and center. Like, they're currently a negative win rate. Like, isn't that just 2 and 3 for Antic? They got pretty cocky after they got 4 rounds off Bliss. You know, they were like, yeah, no one else is getting 4 rounds off Bliss. Well, actually, Odium got 6 rounds off them, by the way. So yeah, if there's anyone that is kind of sitting in the seat that Antic wants to be in right now, it's Odium.
All right, so I think the Amaru pick that you were just speaking of earlier has actually come into play for Antic. It does look like they're going to go for the brute force window strat onto the bomb site. Oh, actually, Juicy doesn't really look like that's what he's doing, actually. Yes, he has the diffuser in hand. Yeah, he's having to think about Con instead.
But where is the Blitz going? Is the Blitz going to drop yellow? Yeah, okay, Blitz is going to drop yellow. The problem is, like, Yellow and Con are so far apart. And Juicy, like, is so exposed, it's really hard to plant here. They need some kind of cover to prevent him from dying to CEO, to President's position. He goes in, he goes to that plant. There's no sound cover. Logic finds the big kill. Oh, Logic! That's big. That's nice. That's very impactful. Quixie, look behind you, mate. There's a shotgun, a supernova ready for you. Dirty V4. This has been a beautiful and incredibly bewildering attack from Antic. Odium had no clue what was coming their way, and they are swiftly put down. Beautiful attack from Antic.
Yeah, Odium had absolutely no idea what was about to happen inside of the bomb site. Juicy not only goes in, gets the bomb down, but then gets kills off the back of that as well. Yeah, Odium were just completely not ready. They'd fully set themselves up over on the admin side of the map. So by the time the Antic actually did hit the bomb site, there wasn't that much resistance there to meet them. I mean, Logic got a kill from a player all the way down below. Yeah. He gets one inside of what? Okay, if Connector is not there anymore.
Don't get started on call out. So I still call the old this window right here. I still call that Connector window because it's where the old.
Meeting.
Yeah, I know. But technically, this is console side room, not even Connector. So
what do you call it?
I don't have a team, so I don't have like set call out. If I had a team, I would not call it side room. I would make up a name for that room, like paper or whatever. Like you make up some word.
Can we make up a word?
Oh God, what do you want to make up?
Box.
Box. I'll take.
But box.
What about the meeting box?
Yeah, I
what
was
about the meeting box?
that.
I would call that box.
That could be boxed.
Dun dun dun.
Yellow connector.
What do you guys think back at home? Type in the chat.
Yeah,
what do you want to call that room?
I've got no idea. Side room is.
I think console side room.
Console side room.
It just flows off the tongue. Yeah, it's so quick. Like, hey, one console side room, one console side room, one console side room. Doesn't that just?
You've got to be joking, right? Oh,
yes,
no.
I am.
Okay,
capping.
excellent.
I am seriously capping. Manny, how long we worked together? How can you tell when I'm capping? How can you not tell that?
I don't know, to be honest.
I was a bit of a Caposaurus Rex, if I'm honest.
To think how long this map has been in the pool as well, we don't have a call out. But surely that just goes to say how little this map gets played in this region, right?
Oh,
like
absolutely, not in this region, that's for sure.
We are lost souls when it comes to
this.
It
also probably tells you a little bit about the state of OCE ranked that we don't even have call outs for the maps that we play all the time.
Oh God. Yeah, okay, so here we go. I had to go another roam clear. They have lent into the double vertical operators of the Ram and the Buck this time around, so trying to make as much use of the top floor as possible, maybe even using some of the vertical for the roam clear itself. Oh, there's a player right around the corner there in the hallway. Good night. Sweet dreams. That's Quixie going down pretty early to kill a man who was very early, quick entry into the building. And there we go, the vertical play is going to come out from Tuhan and Killerman as well. So they're going to use some of this utility, not to clear into the bomb site, but actually to aid them in their roam game and make sure there's no one there on the ground floor as well. That makes that translation even easier.
Ooh.
Seems like they know that there could be a player inside of Visa.
I don't think he knows, actually. I think he was just checking, but...
He hasn't seen him.
Don't think he's seen him, don't think he's heard him. It's Frixel, I believe it was. He was on that drone for a brief moment. Yeah, Bappin. Oh, Frixel's on the drone still. Surely he'd hear him.
Oh, it's flank
He should be able to hear him. Oh,
yeah,
there it is. So he spotted him, but Bappin does have a bit of a fall-off route as well. He's worried about getting pushed, but realistically, he's not going to get pushed here.
I don't think they need to push him, at least, depending on what execute they're trying to go for. So last time we saw Juicy go and get the wall open and then look for the plant to go down from there. I don't actually know where Juicy is now, but assuming he's on the ball, it might not be mission critical. Yeah, so it's not exactly mission critical for them to clear into Visa. But I suppose if they want to go for like a multifaceted kind of take and like pinch out the bomb site, it would be nice. But anyway.
Don't think necessary. At this
not
point,
necessary,
as we saw, the win condition is enabling Vert, denying that position from President and denying the flanks. Bappin did this last time, and now Saved is at large. He's done a lot of damage. Oh, there's a player right around the corner, one watching for him. Logic almost loses that fight, but good pairing up with Frixel. Now they have to take down President. Dirty as well, a long angle from the other side. Not enough vertical gain here to deny these key positions.
Yeah, so it's deja vu once again for Antic Esports, sort of suffering a little bit in this mid-round onto the basement bomb site. Same thing all over again. Dirty's going to land a really nice lineup onto the breach as well. With 25 seconds left to go, it's looking pretty scary for Antic to convert this one, even in the numbers advantage.
Juicy is in a really rough spot here. Logic's got to have a big impact, but Killerman coming in for the backstab. He's got to take down Prez, and Prez is still guns a-blazing. Finally goes down right in the corner.
Killerman.
Killerman does live up to the name indeed. Big 3K on the round for him. He might not have used all his util to enable the site clear, but he backs it up when it matters.
Yeah, nice backstab as well there for Antic. That time around, they actually had the numbers advantage through the mid-round to go and then translate it into a backstab. You know, enabling Killerman to be there in that position in itself is, you know, already pretty good when it comes down to the execute. Not only are you trying to enter in from the breach itself, but you've also got someone coming in from the back. I mean, Killerman literally killed 3 people that were, like, not looking at him except for this guy, basically, right? So, yeah, really solid stuff from Killerman.
That was a 4K. I thought it was a 3K. Even better. Man's gaming. Man's killing men.
Is he?
Living up to the name.
That's funny.
Can't tell if he's the killer man or the killer of man.
I think that's like the same thing, right? Sort of.
Well, is he the man who kills? Or is he the individual that kills men?
That's like, how is that not the same thing?
English, you know, object versus subject. You know.
Nah, you lost me. Sorry.
It's the Constitution, it's Marbo, it's the vibe. Oh my god, have you not seen...
I've just
You haven't
given
seen
you
the
the most
castle?
blanks there.
Oh my god.
I've
you do not
absolutely
deserve
no
to be
idea.
Australian.
Oh,
if you have not
sorry.
seen the castle.
I failed. Okay. Yeah. So
Never
we're gonna
mind.
go over. I didn't even
You know
know.
the vibe I'm getting?
What's the vibe?
The vibe I'm getting is that Antic's actually not doing too bad.
They're doing well here. They're doing really well, especially on the entries, and then off the back of that as well. They're just so quick in pacing. Okay, look, we're saying good entries, yeah, and then Frixel
Never
goes
mind.
in.
Frixel kind of sucks.
Um.
I'm joking. But that was kind
Whoa.
of bad.
Yeah, that wasn't great. Hey, I mean, I guess maybe they just didn't know that he was there.
Was it a
I don't
miss
know.
drone? Was it a
Yeah.
gamble, like where they didn't have 100% info, but like, I don't think anyone's gone upstairs. Okay, YOLO.
Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so here's Antic on their top floor roam clear. So it is, I believe, EXO and Piano again. For Odium, they're going to look to repeat and try and fix up some of their mistakes. Quixie's over here inside of meeting. Try and hold on for as long as he can. There is actually a mirror window that faces into this position, but that's not being used by Quixie. That's being used by his teammate of Dirty, who's over on side, you know, to the other. I can't even remember what this room's called. Inside a CEO. Oh my god. Yeah, there we go. So Juicy's going to try and use some of this utility to zone out some plays and enable logic in.
If only there were previs that could tell you where the stuns went. Wow, that's a lot of bees. That is a hell of a lot of bees, but Killerman continues his good form, while Dirty has found one. Oh, Killerman for the backstab. Big 2K on the round. He found 4 last round. Quixie's feeling the pressure. Good C4. Doesn't land its mark. Tuhan. Oh, Killerman's gone down. Tui needs to try and refrag this, but Quixie is continuing to deal damage. There's a mirror window against him, but not the ability to spot him as of yet. Logic wants to find this kill, but he's worried about a crossfire. He doesn't know it. But there's save just around the corner as well. Quixie is actually very safe.
Much safer than I think these Antic players think they are. Okay, never mind. Yellow Pink's just gone out. I think they actually do know that there's a player in the corner of this room as well. It's probably why they're scared to make this move against Quixie.
What's Prez doing?
They kind of need to make a rotation here. Yeah, Logic needs to get out of this position and try and go for something else. So Prez is down below, putting vertical pressure on. Yeah, Logic with this rotation is able to get the pick onto Sade. Not only that, but Quixie as well.
Oh, no,
he doesn't. He gets down, but he's not out. The trade's come through from Tuhan, and surely he could pick up Logic here unless President makes a big move.
The chances of that happening are very slim, but also the chances of getting this diffuser down. It's cold on the ground the other side of the map. Prez can 1v2 this. Even with the shotgun at range, these players are low HP. Are they going for the diffuser? Tui's got it. 20 seconds. Oh, hello! Goodbye! The president is back again! He looks cold as ever. The double drop the hatch. Mr. President will say hello and goodbye.
I mean, like, why? You know? Like,
Don't type, says Frixel. Mate, I gotta say, that was an
why?
interesting choice of execute there.
Like, You know, of all the moves that I could have gone for,
The double drop the hatch into a
either
shotgun.
2 of 1.
Look, there was no good option there.
Was there really?
There was no good option there.
Are you sure?
Yeah, there was no great option there.
Are you sure?
There were perhaps better options, but I think that round is really owed to Saved and Quixie for just delaying so much time upstairs. 40 seconds
Yeah, but
left.
There's like,
Bam. Damn. This kid's sharp. Look at him go.
I don't know. Yeah. That's interesting. I don't know. I feel like with the 20 seconds that they had left to go.
President was like the old man, like cocking the shotgun. Get off my lawn. You got 5 seconds. And then they drop. It's like one more step and
10 seconds to insertion.
I'm not gonna lie. I actually thought that Antic had that top floor clear kind of figured out at the end there. Hey, like they
Quixie gamed on
realized,
them.
you know, they use the mirror backwards. Yeah, like they use their mirror
tried to.
against them. Logic realized, okay, there's a guy in the corner that I can't see in my mirror, so I've got to rotate around and kill him. And he went and did that. And then 2-on kill Quixie. It was like, damn, you know, they won that 2v2 situational, and then they get to the 1v2, and it's like, wow, you know, they've just done such good thinking, only to not do good thinking after that. Not
well,
good.
problem was, 40 seconds when they got that kill, he had to pick up his teammate, he had to go get the diffuser. By the time that's done, there's 20 seconds, not many ways back. I don't know. You can slice it a lot of ways. It didn't work. And Prez absolutely farmed. Now Odium have a lifeline because, of course, defense are concepts where you want to be racking up rounds, and they have not done so yet. They've got a chance to even the half as they move onto their attack, and the momentum would squarely be on their side if they could achieve that.
Okay, here we go. Quixie has found some early info onto one player outside of admin on the rappel. And that indicates to Odium that they're actually going for a eastern side take of the map. So there's a Monty as well all the way down in the basement. Logic is going to follow up behind Juicy, who's got the diffuser in his hands, by the way. So we've got to keep an eye on Juicy as they make their way into the basement. Very different style of clear here for Antic. They're not looking for that full roam clear. Instead, they're sort of just looking to sweep the map one way across on a bunch of different floors at the same time. Great flashbang.
Wow, yeah, very well played. Good peek as well. Killerman has been in form today. I tell you what, almost hit 10 kills, and we're only 6 rounds in. Logic moving up as the adrenal surge goes out. Oh, Quixie's on for a flank, but Juicy's got him. Juicy's trying to get close to him. If he can get close enough, he might be able to knock him back, but it doesn't matter. He floods him in. And a good crossfire enables that kill confirmed. 5v3, Antic should be able to win this half. Frixel, oh, he finds one, but is traded. Still a 2v4, very dangerous position. Dirty steals one back. Good flank, perfectly timed. But the bells are ringing now for Antic to flood the site. Poor President is left all alone in this cross. Tuhan, oh, he loses the fight. And that means that Juice has got to get out the pistol. Big kill, leaving it up to Dirty. One gas in pocket as Juice starts to put that diffuser down. Logic covering from Kitchen. This is not impossible in a post plant with one smoke babe, but it certainly isn't easy. 1v1ing a Monty after the shield rework is nigh impossible, and Log won't even let it get to that point. He's there to lock in a 4-2 attack round split on Consulate.
Very nice. Solid attack there from Antic. Very different philosophy. Instead of deciding to go for a top-down clear, instead they went for a full map sweep. But it wasn't, you know, a conventional map sweep. They swept all 3 of the floors at the same time. Both the top floor, the ground floor, and the basement. They had someone starting out early in admin, 2 people going down in the basement, and then also the visa cutoff to make sure that they, you know, you couldn't have any defenders retaking back in through the ground floor, dropping the hatch, and pulling apart the attack as well, right? So really well done attacks, simultaneous on all 3 floors. They went their way on through. They caught these roamers as they tried to re-aggress in through the ground floor and in through the top floor. You know, for example, flashbang onto Bappin, who was basically stuck in that hallway. Very unfavored engagement off the back of that, right? So ultimately, really well played on the micro level from Antic, and then by the time they hit the bomb site, they had such a great man advantage, they were able to convert it.
A really good read on that aggression, that's for sure. For Antic now, probably one of the best signs they've had in a long time. Obviously, they lost to Bliss early in the stage, and then the big red flag losing to Panic. Oh, sorry, beat Panic, lost to Man Esports. That was the big one that it was like, oh.
And they lost to 16.
Yes, they lost to 16. I was a bit slow there.
5
to be
seconds
honest.
to insertion.
It's all right.
They lost to 6T, they lost to Panic, and
I don't
they
think-
lost to Man. They 7-0 Panic. I'm just, it's Daylight Savings is messing with me,
Yeah,
alright?
right. I don't really think I've got a lot of brain power left. either,
Bliss,
though.
6 targets, and Man. The 3 teams that Antic has lost
No,
to.
I
so
tell
far.
you what, it has to be a disadvantage to be the last game of the day. I'm sorry. I know this is like such a stupid point to be making, but like
These guys are on gamer hours.
I know they're on
Don't worry
gamer
about
hours,
them.
but like, damn, you know, you're not a bit eepy by the time you hit this point in the night. Anyway, whatever. It's okay.
I
it
think
doesn't
that's
matter.
just us, man.
Yeah, I think that is just us single soul. Okay, so here's Odium on their attack. This is the round swap, oh, sorry, side swap. In fact, round 7. Here we are. And it seems like they've gone for a pretty different approach to Antic, all things considered. Going fast is not the name of the game for Odium, and it's instead go a little slower, break things apart. They've got some pretty different utility as well, a lot of zoning. They've got the Grim, got the Capital. Something's cooking. Something is cooking.
Very much seems to be the meta at the moment, is these, as you said, zoning operators.
Yes, shooting keeper barriers.
Nice.
Yes. Ooh, wow, it actually takes a lot of bullets, yo.
It's a lot of bullets.
Proud of you, Quixie. Good job.
But it got the job done in the end. Saved on his typical saved loadout with the ARX 2x sight. Oh, sorry, 2.5, the ACOG. Very nice. Quixie's going to get in on the back of that zoning. I don't know if he can actually confirm a kill. No, the full reinforcements will get in his way. Might be able to jump in and peek that. He's actually tempted to do so. There's a player in the next room up. He's worried about overextending, but he's looking for this pick. Oh, this is such a good line of sight. Such a good rotate. If he knows he's hard right in the corner, he might be able to convert this. Tuhan has been droned. Bappin finds the opening onto Logic, but Tuhan's gone deep. He's caught in the back, and he will be finished off. A nice attempt there from Antic. Oh, good re-aggression. What a long shot from Frixel. And with the MP5 ACOG, he lands that headshot kill. And now Antic, while are fighting from behind, have a flash of hope.
I actually quite like the use of the Grim to make that entry work there. Grim is a surprisingly self-sufficient operator, in my opinion, especially when you can use it in the right place at the right time like that. And it can also be used with the team as well. But alas, he is down. I digress. It's not important anymore. Killerman is instead going to hold onto this mini
He's
hallway.
dead. 3, 2, 1 dead.
Second hallway. Oh, and there's a player on the other side of that, all the way inside a break room. Doesn't quite land the shots. Bappin's going to come up for Spiral. For a pinch, great shot there from Saved onto Killerman, who is looking to re-aggress. 2-on-4 is now a pretty significant
juice.
advantage for Odium.
Yeah, Bappin had the off angle there. The Vultures are circling. It's Frixel against 4. And Odium are playing quite patiently. 25 seconds. Frixel withstands one flashbang. The second one likely to find him. He knows where Saved is, and Saved QE peeks him into high heavens. Great play there from Odium. They start to bridge this gap that has been extended, break the lead that Antic have established. But it's all game faces on the Odium boys. No one getting too overexcited as of yet. They know that they failed in the first half with only 2 defenses, and they have to let their attacks speak for themselves.
Interesting. Very interesting. I don't know. I quite like that attack there from Odium. It was really clean. The entry was well done. I think by the time that they hit break, they didn't actually face that much resistance in the end. I can't really pinpoint it as to whether there was just not really set up there on that side of the map for Antic, or whether it was just really well dealt with off the back of the Grim or the Capital. I can't really
I feel
pinpoint.
like it's the latter. I
You
honestly,
think so?
I think Antic had a pretty good setup. I think that they maybe could have fallen off earlier,
Yeah, right.
but I think Odium just played that really well. They got a 2-player advantage. Eventually, Antic got 1 back, but yeah, Odium everywhere all at once.
Yeah, I thought it was a really solid attack there for Odium. It felt like they had enough tools to get their ideas working.
You know what's crazy is like if you remove Bliss from the league, right, which is kind of what's happened. Like Bliss have just established themselves as the first place outlier.
Yeah.
So everyone's going to lose to Bliss.
Yeah.
If you remove them from the league, the only team Odium has lost to is Panic.
Defuse a bomb.
How nuts? How nuts is that? Whereas Antic have lost to 6T and Man Esports. Odium beat Man Esports. I feel like Odium, I mean, I don't know what went wrong in that Panic game. They were really not themselves, that's for sure. But if Odium lose to Antic, then we've got this really weird rock, paper, scissors formation where, like, you know, Odium beat Man, Man beat Antic, Antic beat Odium. I don't know how you play this. You know, Antic 7-0 Panic. Odium lost to them. How does this work?
I have no idea how this works. And I guess, you know, that's why the midfield has been pretty close, right?
Really
and,
has.
yeah, to me, the elimination match is going to come down to the last day at this point, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Especially if Antic struggle a bit here. Or if they win here, actually, right? Because who won in the
Yeah.
last one? I forgot already. Man won.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, maybe it won't then. Anyway.
We'll see.
I mean, because Circular Spheres lost the last one, they did lose, right?
They did get a point, though.
Oh,
And that means that Antic is currently in elimination spot. If they jump up, then 6 targets and Circular Spheres are actually tied on round difference as well as being tied on points. So it will come down to the last day no matter what. Antic's still on the chopping block, but they do find the opening pick and it's onto the very dangerous Saved, who even gives an NS in the chat. Bit of respect coming out. I know. Bit of cockiness, very typical of Antic.
I think we should stop peering into the multiverse. That's the... yeah. Okay, here we go. So there's President.
There we go.
Hey, nice shot into Tuhan.
Is he going to put the NS in chat?
He's gone and overpeaked from the Kiva barricade. And President's making his way up the stairs, anticipating that the flank will come through. There's Logic over on the other side, who's still in the top floor. Hasn't been spotted out just yet, but his position now known as Bappen's taken a bit of HP on his side. Oh, surely there's a player cutting off at top yellow here.
Oh, Logic should be dead to rights. He needs to make good on this roam. Perfect angle for him. He finds Prez. Good reply. The roam completely undealt with. And they're looking for another pick. But it looks like actually Odium have completely fallen off. They're not looking at dealing with this roam anymore. Instead, they've gone deep. Bappen has a big impact already. He's found a massive pick. And Logic has to rotate back towards side, but Bappen's got his number. Oh, Odium. They brought it back once again. Antic read like a book, played like a fiddle. 2v3, though, is very winnable, especially with 20 seconds left to play. And Frixel's brought it on back. He's found a big double. Bappen's caught upstairs with no hatch open and no chance in hell of getting to the side in time. This round is over. He knows it. We know it. You know it. Frixel knows he's won this round. It's a simple formality to confirm the kill, and Killerman's going to do it in style. Antic steaming ahead once again, having a laugh and finding a solid defense.
They've got a lot of value out of that roam, especially Vigil is a pretty out-of-pocket pick these days. You don't see it that often, but Logic made full use of that. He sat there on the top floor and completely punished them for not clearing him out early. Not only did he take a chunk of damage off Bappen, but then he goes and kills President. Hard breach, pretty important for the late round,
Why Prez is roam clearing that, to be honest.
I mean, I feel like maybe they just have to at that point, right? Like they're
Just
running out of
ignore
time,
him.
they're in the mid-rounds.
They found a big pick on him by just pressuring the site and waiting for him to drop the hatch. I think it was a misread from Odium.
Yeah, that's fair enough as well. Like maybe force them to come play, you know, come play the flank later on and then read into that. I don't know, but yeah, Odium, I think either Odium really overcommitted to the roam clear, or Antic made really good at the roam. I feel like you can, you know, it's two sides of the coin.
I think it was both.
You know,
I think that was a roller coaster round. Like Odium started all right, Antic, you know, with that roam was looking really good. Then, I don't know, back and forth. Odium stole the side control, and then Antic played it good in the 2v3. So yeah, back and forth for sure.
Good round there from Antic. Like honestly, really solid to be honest. Like especially from the remaining players. Situational, you know, when you're down a couple players and there are like people loitering around on each floor and it's like, or not all that structured, making sure you're like playing together and like, you know, picking the right battles is really important. And it's those like little 1%ers that I think have got Antic over the line.
And a 1% from Antic could be picking an unusual bomb site. We talked a little bit about split. We said it's a bomb site that you need to have a good setup for if you're going to play it. But I trust Antic. They are a team that spends a lot of time running through their strats, preparing. Oh, Saved is surely going to get a freebie. Killerman caught lacking. That's not a good start. These complicated strats on these tertiary bomb sites take a lot of manpower to execute.
Coxie on the Monty as well. That could be a fun one. So last time around, we saw Antic play into this Monty. They made pretty good use of it, going all the way down into the basement. Ooh, there's a C4 from down below. Yes, you're saying that exactly right. Juicy's got the pulse in hand.
Nitro time, baby.
Maybe
Come on, Juice.
Quixie knows. Is he trying to get into safety?
There's info. Oh, Juice. He doesn't have the info anymore. Oh, okay, so they're actually opening a vertical line of sight to try and contest this. Very peculiar exchange so far.
3 C4s on the board. So it's making me think that Antic are really going to lean into playing the basement here, wait for the bomb to go down, and then go and C4 the planter. Someone's standing still, right? You've got 3 explosives from the floor. Not only that, but you've got the BP as well. So for Odium to then go into this bomb side with Tellers, it's basically like false sense of security, right, for them. They've got so much to worry about from down below. Not only that, but Logic's above with the vertical as well. So Odium really haven't picked apart the pieces yet.
But Bappen has the opportunity to drop the hatch at a moment's notice, and Dirty is right here in the sight. Oh, this is beautiful from President. This line of sight right here. However, Bappen's gone down. Good shot from Prez. He's broken double digits now. You don't want to mess with him when he's worked up, when he's angry. Tuhan cornered and put to bed. Big play from Quixie. Oh, Logic's going to lose his life surely here. Him and Frixel are holding onto this top floor bomb site, but they've lost the bomb site beneath. The rug has been ripped out from underneath. Oh, big kill could go begging for Frixel. He needed more than that. And now Logic, he's not really got anything for it, does he? Odium continue fighting.
That was a great decision there for Odium to go down into the basement itself. It looks like they were teasing out tellers for a lot of that mid-round, and at some point someone made the call just like, nah, this is a mistake. I've just droned out a pulse in the basement. Stop, get out of the ground floor, go into the basement instead. And at the moment that they made that decision, like, that was the perfect decision for them to make, to be honest. President opening up a great line of sight, preventing Juicy from playing his safe haven inside a little blue corridor, and then from there on out converting the picks as well. Coming down spiral, pinching out the remaining players in the basement. Logic gets caught out in his rotation from the top floor. It all really went well there for Odium once they realized the point of, you know, that they weren't quite safe in the ground floor and that they had to attack the bomb site directly.
Good little double fake, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Odium are like, hey, let's just take tellers. And then Antic is sitting there, biding their time, scheming, rubbing their fingers together with their 3 C4s and their pulse. And then Odium's like, actually, you know what? This is a bit sus, isn't it?
Yeah.
I reckon Purple's acting a little sus. Let's go downstairs. Let's go attack. Let's get Prez to open some lines aside. Let's get the Monty to poke and prod. We'll kill Tui, we'll execute down there. And Antic are like, hang on a second, that's not what we agreed on. We were going to C4 you while you were executing tellers. That's not what we wanted.
Oh, dear.
I love that from them. And yeah, it's been a hard game of defense on this map so far, but Odium did have a big ask of finding 4 attacks, and they've already found 2.
Top floor, next bomb site for Antic to try and push themselves into match point, but Odium have told us that they won't go down without a fight and they want to stay in the dialogue. It's not a bad setup here from Antic. They've really tried to cover here for all eventualities. Not only have they got, you know, the vertical for the downstairs pressure, but they've also got Juicy, I imagine, smoke, good lineup. And they've also got set up all the way on the other side of the map on admin as well. So they're going to look to extend their reach in the map, wait to see what Odium do, and then move on from there for the defense. It like feels like they're pretty prepared for anything that could happen early on.
True. Speaking of early, he is saved. He's looking very cheeky. There's a dread mine. I don't know if it's open or closed as of yet. I believe it's still closed. Doesn't want to overextend. Oh, it's open actually. Oh, it's been hacked though by the Brava. Almost hacked. Swing attempted to come out. Hacks come through. That's going to deny one of these Fenrir charges. Oh, save doesn't land the crucial shots. He hasn't taken out that barbed wire either. Juicy managed to dodge all of those bullets somehow.
President is back on the Brava drone. That's exciting news, especially when you're playing against something like a Fenrir, who Killerman has been pretty active in getting those on and off so far. So for President to be able to find an active one like that on the top of yellow is quite important work for him.
Keep our barrier up.
Odium are really not telegraphing what they're doing for us here, right?
Oh, worked for them last round,
It
right?
initially looks like they were going to try and make something work off the back of that yellow play, but the diffuser is actually on the other side of the map with Quixie inside of admin. So he's still holding on to that. Grim once again to enable himself to get on in.
Big opening though from saved. From outside, Frixel caught lacking. Bit unusual there. Oh, Bappen's worried. That could be activated at a moment's notice. Behind him, Killerman is still alive, and he is actually looking at changing his gadgets, I believe, at the moment. Bappen on this entry.
Player in the soda machine for the defense, not sure who that is. That's Killerman actually with his active dread mines as well to prevent early control coming in from Odium.
Dirty could be big here.
It could be.
Here comes the fire, but a big kill from Killerman. I don't know where this fire has gone, but it has not punished Killerman as of yet. Thankfully, Quixie's there with a sharp shot. Meanwhile, Tuhan has confirmed the kill onto saved. Things are not looking too hot here, but 3-3 means this could flip either direction.
These rounds have all been super situational, and with 30 seconds left to go, it really looks like they've got to press the attack from here and out. Quixie's got the diffuser in a really tough spot in the tiny hallway in between the little meeting box, and there goes Tuhan to go down. Early entry there from Quixie. He's going to go in deep, take the player out behind the table as well, and it's all down to Juicy in the 1 versus 2.
Hiding in the smoke. He needs to pop up at the opportune moment. He has been read, and he has been spotted. Odium continue fighting. They're pushing harder and harder. And they'd even up the scoreline 5 rounds apiece. This next round determines the first point on the standings to be divvied up from this game.
This game's been so close, Dev. Even down to the rounds, it's all been so situational. It's all come down to like 2v2s, 3v3s, something like that. And whoever's made the better decision through the mid-rounds, like, they've done better, basically, right? And I think ultimately they're... Go on.
A lot of like big players like needing to step up. Quixie that round, 3K.
Yeah.
I think in the dire moments when it was looking very tight, there are 2 players still in that meeting site for defense. You need someone who's just saying, let's just go in. I'm ready for those fights. I'm checking every corner. And it was Quixie. He started with this kill right here on a Killer Man, and then this big pick onto Tuhan hiding in the corner. And yet he also found one on long. And that was everything that Odium needed to open up the site and enable that plan.
Very interesting matchup between these two so far. I don't really know what to say from here, Dev, to be honest. It just feels like it's such like a round-by-round kind of basis for these guys. Like, it's hard to pinpoint which team is looking ahead because there haven't been that many convincing rounds in this match so far. I mean, there have been a couple spread out here and there, but like for the most part.
Right now, is he filming himself? Is he on Snapchat? Is he video calling someone?
God, I think we're too old for this, Dev. I don't like.
I know he's mewing. Sorry, our producer's telling me he's mewing. I know he's mewing, man.
I don't even know what that means. Like,
it's the thing where you do like you point at your jawline and then do the like shush kind of symbol. Like.
Okay. I don't really understand the internet trend stuff these days, though. Yeah.
Yesterday, one of our producers came up and was like trying to show us a TikTok, and neither of us got it because we don't use TikTok.
Social media. Yeah, that's quite funny actually.
he somehow managed to find the 2 people here that are like the least down with the TikTok trends.
Yeah, we are not hip with the times. We are about as far as hip from the times as you could possibly.
We went bouldering today. That's pretty hip.
That's not very hip at all. That's like
I swear.
That's like nerd sport.
Yeah.
100%. Like if we went out and we played like, I don't know, what's like a cool sport, you know?
There are cool sports?
They're a cool sport.
I don't know.
I don't think the ones that we do are cool.
I don't know. Basketball, is that a cool sport?
That's a cool sport. That's true. You know, we're out here going bouldering. Like, what's wrong with them? You know, we're definitely not cool.
No. Just want to like revert back to our nature, our ancestors that climbed the trees.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, just embrace that aspect of us, you know?
Yes. Climbing is good.
I love that. Kind of like how Antic need to climb the standings in order to qualify for the playoffs. That was good, Dev. Nice
Wow,
one.
nice. This is important though to get all 3 points here for Antic because
yeah.
their lads in Circular Spheres, they've got 1 point.
Yep.
Which is not 3, but it's 1, right?
Yeah. Well,
so if these dudes can't even get 1 out of this match, it's pretty like rut-row. Not so
it is
good.
Extremely rut-row. And if Antic get all 3 points out of this game, they actually end up in the top 4.
Wow.
How crazy is that? They jump over 6 targets, Circular
sense.
Spheres, and Panic.
I mean, at the start of the day, the difference between 2 and 7 is 4 points, right?
Yeah.
Plus minus 4.
At the moment, yeah, we've got 4th place is on 8 points, sorry, and 7th place, Antic's on 6 points. So 2 points separating 4 different teams. If Antic lose this, however, their chances of making it out are looking pretty pitiful. They will need to beat Circular Spheres, and I don't necessarily see that happening. Certainly can't take it for granted. Pretty sure, though, that if we boil it down, Antic, to guarantee that they make it, they actually just need to win either this game or the Circular Spheres game. They actually don't need to win both. But if they lose today, Circular Spheres is still only, 1 point ahead of them. So even an overtime win means that they would be tied on points and it would come down to round difference. And I'm pretty confident that Antic would end up winning the round difference because of that 7-0 ahead of a Panic. This is like mega nerd, like Sprabuni level calculations. But like technically Antic could lose this game and beat Circular Spheres and it would be fine for them. But it's still a bit yonky splonky.
Yeah, it is yeah, it is yonky splonky for sure. Nah, there are too many layers of multiverse for me to look into the one and then know that Antic are going to come out.
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb.
Yeah.
Focusing back on the game at hand, like, to be honest with you, Dev, I feel like this game has just pointed out how little I know about Consulate. I don't know about you, but like, these rounds have been quite challenging to break down. Now, whether it's because I'm a fraud and I don't know anything about the map, or whether it's because this game has actually been tremendously close in the mid-rounds.
It has.
I don't know.
It has.
But it feels very close in literally every single phase of the round between these two teams.
It has. And the meta is constantly changing, and both these rosters have had at least 2 new players in them. In fact, 3. I think all these rosters had, I guess, Bap and Prez saved from last stage. But yeah. Oh, I like this. Present is avoiding the impact trick by putting his exothermic deep in the wall rather than just on the surface. And we heard the impact trick go out and fail from Tuhan. That's already a good, solid start. Logic on his solo roam upstairs again. Now, he delayed a lot of time and found 1 pick last time. He's actually got Juice to support him. Looks like he's not going to overstay as welcome, however.
This is a nice pull off as well from Antic. Of course, you can be cut off if you try and go down yellow. There are multiple positions where attackers can sit there and post up and wait for you to fall off again. So falling off through side room, console side room, God, I can't believe this, is the way to go. These guys. And having a shotgun in hand for that roam is a bit handy, hey? So here we go for saved. On the other side, realizing that this top floor is clear, is going to make his way on in and try and take some ground. The point that they have to worry about now, though, is the ground floor. And not having any of the vertical pressure that, for example, Antic were bringing out is going to make this harder, but it doesn't matter anyway. A shotgun hole in the floor is going to enable Save to just have a look down, and Juicy is there to meet him. Logic, though, on the back of that is going to find a trade onto Quixie, though. So numbers are still even between these two teams.
Frixel's re-aggressing as well up the stairs. This is messy. This is just players running rampant upstairs. Lurks, roams, all these ships sailing past each other. Frixel's gone straight forward upstairs. He's about to find Bappen if he times this right. Oh, there's Bappen. No. There's a freebie. What to do now for Odium? They know there's a player still upstairs, but Logic's been taken down. The diffuser is actually outside. I believe Quixie was the one who died with it. And now Odium are in a bit of a pickle. What do they do? Do they try and catch Frixel on his return back to site?
This is what I mean. These mid-rounds are so chaotic. There is still a roamer in the top floor. Meanwhile, somehow, in the basement, there's an attacker. Now they're going to take the diffuser and try and capitalize off the back of that. But then, are they still, keeping an eye on Frixel, who's going on his return? Not really. It doesn't matter. He's going to come... Yeah, there's literally a player, right behind him. What is going on through this mid-round? 17 seconds left. The diffuser's barely in the bomb site. It's pretty scary for Odium. Antic look pretty good here.
Except if Odium find this pick, but Frixel's got 1. Oh, he does die. And trying to pick up the player, but that's not going to work. Prez has gone down. There's just no time to get the revive, let alone the goo mine out of his foot. My. A round win for Antic sets them on match point, but a round that was basically team deathmatch ends up just running out of time. And now Odium are on the ropes. They take their tactical timeout. Antic have got their first point out of this game and gunning for all 3.
So I think between these two teams, a few conceptual or philosophical differences in the way that they're defending the map, right? Antic very much leaning into the fact that roam clone consulate is pretty tricky. There's a lot that you've got to clear, there's a lot that you've got to drone. You throw Vigil into the mix, that makes it even harder. You throw Mute into the mix, that makes it even harder. Not only that, but on the side of Odium on the attack, the lineup for them is completely different to what Antic were bringing. You see the half of Antic, you've got Killerman and Tuhan on Ram and Buck. So their roam clear is super expedited through the top floor and through the ground floor because they're clearing 2 floors simultaneously, right? Whereas on the side of Odium, on their attacks, they've got a lot more limited tools when it comes through that mid-rounds. The droning work isn't as good because they're facing a lot more resistance, and by the time they even get into the top floor, it's harder to translate into the ground floor. So I think ultimately, on a holistic philosophical level of the map, I quite like the way that Antic have been playing it, to be honest. Yeah. I feel like both on the attack and the defense, they've been giving themselves more tools to succeed.
Yeah, and this round now means everything to Antic, Mandy. If they get the full 3 points out of this game, which, by the way, they need to win this round. They can't let it go to overtime to get those full 3 points. Then their chances of making playoffs are all but confirmed. Panic will be underneath them, and Panic are playing Bliss, so very unlikely to get any points. Circular Spheres will be playing Odium. And, I mean, they could jump back over Antic, but really Antic only needs to stay ahead of one of Panic, Circular Spheres, and 6 targets. 6 targets are playing Man. Maybe they'll get some points out of that game. CS are playing Odium, could get points there, but Panic are the target here. Panic are currently in 4th place, but they are the most likely, if Antic wins this, to drop out of the league and fail to make playoffs because they've got their hardest game tomorrow, or next week, I should say. Antic need the full 3 points. Otherwise, they won't be able to trust in Panic's game, and they'll need to get over some of these other teams as well.
Important round now for Antic. Going over back to Press Room and EXO and looking to hold onto that top floor pretty heavily. Not only is there a mirror window once again facing inside a meeting and waiting for that entry to come through, preventing the vertical game from happening, but there's even keeper barricades to protect said mirror setup in the top floor as well. So yeah, this is pretty fortified here on the top floor. It's going to make me wonder what Odium will do about this. Do they then go and clear out the top floor thinking that it's a necessity, or are they going to try and forego it off the back of the Capital and try and make something worth the utility with the smokes, try and cut off some lines of sight? They've got a couple options here, and it's up to them through this early to mid round to go and find the path of least resistance. Bappin going down early doesn't make things any easier for Odium, but it spells good for Antic.
Really does. Odium need to be pushing overtime here. The moment they have slipped out of those top 2 spots, but another player falls. If Odium fall here, it may mean no bye in the playoffs bracket for them. Logic has slipped through the fingers of Dirty on that window. Survived the fire from the Capital. Odium are looking to try and make some sort of a refrag work, taking this top floor presence. But perhaps a direct hit on the site could be more beneficial.
This is pretty dangerous here for Odium. I mean, Antic very much looking in pole position to take the map from here on out. But Odium are looking to try and sneak their way into the bomb site. President has got the diffuser in hand, and he's coming up from the basement. Now, as I understand it for Antic, they've got a lot of vertical gameplay to be holding on to here. They've got lots of lines of sight that are going down with the double destruction operators on the defense. So for Odium, they either need to somehow sneak their way on in through all of these vertical lines of sight. There's literally one at the top of Spiral looking onto President right now. The DMR is going to sail his way on through, but he doesn't deal any damage to the player on the other side. It is nigh impossible here for Odium to get the diffuser from the outside of the bomb site to the inside of the bomb site, even though there are no defenders on the bomb site itself.
But a pick could go awry if Antic overexposed to some lines of sight. Look how cautiously they're playing, though. Saved is very close to the bomb site, but Antic, even if they're not directly aware, they're hyper cautious of it. They're not exposing themselves to any of these lurks. And that seems to be the attempted win condition for Odium. But there are long lines of sight from above with which Antic can cover these positions. It's far too late, but Saved has found his big pick. It's far too late for Odium to go for the vert push. They have to make this work on the ground floor, and the smokes may cover some of these lines of sight. Dirty doesn't have the diffuser. It's up to President. Saved goes deep. He spots a player on the vert. He gets the down. Is it possible that Odium could thieve the round here? Frixel's got to deny the plan. Round in the corner. He can't even get the first. The round is flipped on its head again. Logic bringing it back for his squad. Saved such low HP as the retake is demanded of Antic. Piece by piece, they make their way back into this game. President to stand against the full might of Antic. Just 2 players need to be found. There's one. A single bullet will do it! Right between the eyes! Killer Man has confirmed Antic full 3 points. A domination over the second best team in this region. And Antic are looking red hot and ready for playoffs.
And Antic show us that, hey look, they can take us to a map that isn't Clubhouse or Chalet. Thank goodness. We got a really solid game on Consulate back there. A very tight battle between these 2 teams, but Antic scrape away with all 3 points on the defending half.
It has been a really rough season so far for Antic, but that is a huge sigh of relief. Not only a massive confidence booster for taking down the team in the league that has looked the best rivals to Team Bliss. The only team to take points off them in this stage so far. But if there's one team right now that's panicking, it is Panic, as they are on the chopping block for that playoff spot come next week. One play day of the round robin remains before we dig into playoffs, and I'm sure they'll break that down on the desk.
Jake, I know you're excited for this one. Can I go to too damn good. Antic are back, but no, they're not really back, but they are back in the mix of the playoffs.
I don't know where they are.
They don't know where they are, but they do know that they currently sit in 4th place.
Yeah. The only reason why I predicted them today, my wonderful analysis was they lost yesterday. And
so it has to be.
The day before that they won, and the day before that they lost.
Yeah.
So they were due for a win.
So
following the pattern. And they won.
So the flip-flopper flip-flopped on the predictions, but the flip-floppers flip-flopped enough for you to no longer be a flip-flopper.
He's still a flip-flopper.
He is still a flip-flopper. There's no doubt about it.
no.
Look, this has been the league. This has been the league this entire time. I mean, genuinely, OCE League, snakes and ladders.
Yeah.
That is what we've had on display since the very first Playday, guys. And this is no exception.
Yeah, I mean, even this match just in isolation had very up and down moments, ebbing and flowing with a lot of attacker-sided rounds and then defense able to lock down others. We were talking quite a bit about the entry game throughout this match. So many instances, and it's not just exclusive to this map. It's not even really a region thing. It's largely meta. Shut up. So many entry battles where they're one-sided one way or the other, and then there's no contest around the map. You have mutes dropping off site. You have other, players losing battles, etc. And it was, very difficult to keep track of and constant. Just the nature of that. There's so many entry points at times that can be exploited. Makes it weird, but at the end of the day, Antic get a result. I mean, they really needed it today because of just how tightly contested the mid-table is. And so, final play day, honestly, it's going to be insane. We only have, as far as I'm aware, 3 teams locked in and 1 locked out.
Yeah, and 1 locked out, so it's still absolute chaos. But we love big dogs here on the OCE League, and sometimes you need a big dog to step up. That is Log Dog. How you doing, big fella?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. Good to, win one. I mean, we just got to keep on track, right? Win one, lose one, win one, lose one.
Yeah,
Don't worry, mate. I already figured that out. Now, careful about next week. Fair warning. You're on the lose side now.
Oh, God.
Look, honestly, mate, this, I don't know how much you've heard of the deaths there, but this has probably been one of the most bizarre stages we might have seen in a long time. It, at times, has felt certain, and at most times has felt the most uncertain I've ever felt about any team. How did you feel coming into today's game, knowing full well that if you don't win this, you are well and truly on the chopping block?
Oh, listen, I don't think any of us were nervous, to be honest.
Yeah.
We back ourselves completely. At the end of the day, these games that are happening, they're all just... I think you guys can agree every game that's won at the moment is literally just one player popping off on a team. Like, you have a 7-0 save dropping 20 kills on CS, then you have CS dropping one person dropping 20 kills on another team, like Karma dropping 20 kills on another team. Like, it's just one person popping off every game. There's so much inconsistency in the scene right now and all these games. And what we know is that if we can come into a game and we just do our basics, we can be consistent. Unfortunately, we don't do our basics very well every game, which is where we're struggling at the moment, and obviously something we're trying to improve on. But we know that we are on a base term, we are better than these teams anyway. We don't need one person to pop off. We know our whole team can.
Yeah, and also to play devil's advocate a little bit, I know you guys internally probably feel fine, especially after the win tonight, but you actually look back on the stage, the only real blip was probably that 6-target loss. I know you probably wouldn't have been too happy with losing to Man Esports, but as they've proven, they've done quite well this stage. They're not a bad team by any means. And I think also the other thing this stage is that you look at your Odiums, yourselves, Man, Panic. These teams are all just pretty close. And like you said, the differentiating factor is probably just someone pops off on a given night. It's a best of one. Yeah. These things happen. So now moving forward, I know you've got one still play day to go. You play Circular Spheres next week. Have you thought about the fact that in best of threes, you guys as a team, when I look at your roster on paper, there's that experience, best of threes. Do you feel maybe that could be where there's a bit more strength in your roster compared to others?
I think we'll shine in BO3s. I mean, we win games, we lose games, but at the end of the day, every game we've lost, we've won the next one. It's not like we're chalked out of our mind or we're going, oh, God, you did this, or there's no fights. We lost yesterday. We were like, oh, well, boys, let's play some Team Overwatch. Jumped on Overwatch and took our anger out on a bunch of noobs in gold. So it was awesome. I don't know. I think we're mentally strong enough. BO3s for us, we're pretty confident. We have a big map pool. We have new strats, old strats. Obviously, I mean, even the maps we lost, we didn't even really have to show anything. So we're lucky in that respect, and I think we'll be fine. I'm not really worried,
Well, hopefully, of course, you can get to the best of threes. That's no guarantee with how close things are.
No, it's guaranteed. Oh. It's guaranteed.
Okay, if you say so. I wanted to ask specifically...
Do you think I'm going to... sorry to cut you off, but do you think I'm going to Chef Jeff get to best of threes and I'm not going to be there?
What about Goof? Is Goof going to drop 25 on you guys next week and deny?
Probably.
There you go. That'll be my question.
Self-awareness. And you don't want to
I had another question, but Logic's annoying me, so that's right. We'll leave it for playoffs.
What can I say, mate? I don't get many of these interviews anymore. I just, need to get any more I can.
They're few and far between, mate. They are quite rare at the moment. But honestly, I just want to get your thoughts on how this league has played out, because we've asked this question once or twice. Do you believe that it's a case of some teams are getting better, or that the collective have just played a little bit worse?
It is a tough one. I think some players are shining. That is absolutely for sure. I think, beef aside and stuff, Wet told me to bring back my villain arc, but I'm a humble youth, I'm matured and I've grown up. So I'll say people like Saved, Bappin, they're showing up, they're playing well. People like Karma, surprised, like he's doing really well for his team.
Yep.
So
President was good tonight.
President sucks. I think that there's certain players getting a lot better, but I think I think teams collectively are not improving. I really don't think teams are getting better, because a better team is a consistent team. I don't think we're a great team. I don't think any team is great. I think every team being as inconsistent as they are is really bad at the moment.
Do you think a part of that, though, is because there's always so much chopping and changing when it comes to the teams? Yes, the players maybe individually are fine because, you keep playing, you keep getting better. But, like, as core teams, how many really stay together? So the big thing for me is, like, say you guys as Antic, are you going to stay together then going into Stage 2, practicing into that off-season, then going into Stage 2? Because that's the only way you're going to actually improve as a team.
I agree. I think it's... that's a big question mark at the moment. I think
that's for all teams, by the way, not just you guys.
Yeah. Well, I think for us individually, it's obviously going to be. We've already spoken about it, and we've said we want to play out the whole year. But you never know what happens at the end of the day. And I think for the rest of these teams, it's the same thing. I think it's really hard at the moment, is because teams expect such big things from themselves. Like for example, Odium might finish second place in this group stage and then bum out and end up fourth in playoffs. And I'm saying they will. They are playing well, right? But is that fourth place finish after a second place stage going to implode them? Are they going to make a roster move after that because they're going to be like, oh, Kixie didn't perform, or they're going to be like, oh, Bappin didn't perform? Or do you know what I mean? And I think that's the problem at the moment with Oz is, I think, one, budding personalities. People don't like each other, and that's just a fact. And I think the second one is just there's players playing good and there's players that aren't so good and can probably be replaced. And friendships keep teams together. And the issue is at the moment is all these teams are just like, they're not really friend teams at the moment, other than CS, which is why you see them sticking together. Win, loss, doesn't matter.
Well, I can say from a personal level, I can't stand these two beside me, but we stick together, and that's that's at the end of the day, we're a testament to
that's
what
why
happens.
we improve as a team.
Yeah, well, I don't know if we improve as a team, but that's a good note to leave it on. Do you have anything you want to say before we let you go, mate?
Yeah, I want to say shout out to the boys. Shout out Killer Man. He's had a bit of a rough one, but we've hyped him up and he performed tonight. He played really well. He was good. So much love for Kyle. Yeah. Shout out to the boys, Broden especially, and then I just want to say, shout out Chef Jeff. He lit a fire in me yesterday. So shout out Chef Jeff. You suck. See you in playoffs. And obviously shout out to all you guys on the cast and the production and yeah.
Thanks, Log.
Mucho love.
And President, you suck. President, you're horrible. All right, that's it. I'm done.
Jesus.
We'll see you next time.
I want to apologize if Prez is watching. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have brought that up.
I'm glad he mentioned Killerman. That was going to be my actual serious question. I wanted to note him because he obviously had a standout day. Logic actually played very well as well. So yeah.
That was good for Killerman tonight to have a good performance. And confidence is everything, especially towards the back end of a stage as we go into the final play days and then into the playoffs, for example. I think, a player like Killerman dropping 14 and 7, having arguably an MVP performance, first kills, EPS, everything across the board. Guz was bringing it up for a reason, not to bash him, but more so because, hey, we've seen him do this before.
This is more normal Killerman.
Yeah, this is what we expect from someone who's, really, I think to close 2023 was considered one of the rising stars going into 2024. Slow start, but hey, mate, slow start could turn into a bright playoff. Who knows? He could be the one to maybe send Antic to Manchester.